Hello, everyone. This is Lylia again in our podcast in the ACCA. So today we're going to have with us a very special guest as well, Mehdi Bourahla, a Fulbright alumni from the University of North Carolina. It's good to have you here today. How are you?
Hey Lilia, thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here.
The pleasure's all ours, actually.
Thank you.
Well, the session was amazing. Today you had your first session or second session?
Yeah, it's actually my second session at the ACCA when I'm introducing AI to common folks, actually.
Yeah, I missed the first one, too bad. But it was really rich, I dare say. So,
Thank you.
Speaking about your Fulbright experience,
Mhm.
can you tell me more about what first... How was the experience in general? It goes from general to specific.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to summarize 2 years of that experience in like short term, but definitely life-changing. Because I don't know, it gives you that opportunity to go to a foreign country and not any foreign countries. I mean, it's the US, yeah, and gave me the opportunity to do a second master's in artificial intelligence. For those who don't know me, I had a first master's here in software engineering, and yeah, going to North Carolina, meeting new people, being by my own. Like, you know, the culture here in Algeria, not a lot of people live by their own, so having that opportunity to live by my own, knowing myself better. I had also the experience to go to new cities, new states there. Yeah, if I start to talk about it, it will be an entire book, actually.
So it's not just enhancing your professional and academic baggage, but in personal and interpersonal skills as well.
Yeah, I think that it was kind of a revealing experience to me because I experienced a lot of situations that obviously I didn't experience here, and when I was there, each of these scenarios, each of these experiences allowed me to know more about myself, which is exciting. Yeah.
This is how we get to unlock new potential in ourselves. Just
totally.
The trials. If you don't try to get out of your comfort zone, that's where you get to know yourself.
Yeah,
better.
totally. And I actually had the chance to talk with Americans, and they had this kind of experiences abroad. And they actually felt the same way. I actually met with some Americans that went, for example, to France or even to some countries in Africa, and they actually felt the same way. They felt like in the beginning uncomfortable, maybe homesick, exactly. Yeah. And in the end, it's always like a good experience because it's allow you to know more about yourself.
Exactly, more about yourself, more about the other cultures.
Exactly.
Especially the US, it's more like multicultural. So you get to meet people from everywhere in the same spot. Like, for example, have you ever let's say the surrounding or like the classmates, what kind of environment were you in?
Oh, so the biggest advantage of Fulbright is actually it gives you the opportunity to experience an American university. And only this, oh my God, the best experience ever, not gonna lie. Because the American university, it is as you see it in the movies, as you see it in TV shows.
University.
Yeah.
Not the typical wizard.
No, exactly. What I mean is that I had the opportunity to join a swimming club when I was at the university. And I primarily did that because it allowed me to interact with people and to make new friends and everything. And I remember like my first semester there, I told myself, hey, I need to do this. So yeah, it gave me the opportunity to make new friends, especially Americans. I have a lot of friends, they go abroad and they stay, let's say, in their own communities. Let's say, for example, we as Algerians, we go to France or to the USA, and what we do, and we stay only with our own community, which is a bad habit, I'm not gonna lie. Exactly. I think that going there just to be with your own...
it's like moving in your own bubble and like just jumping in another place, that's it.
Totally, like part of the experience is getting to know about other people and other cultures, and especially us as Fulbright scholars, we were there as ambassadors. We were there with a mission of sharing our culture. So just like a fun fact, but a lot of Americans don't know about Algeria. Whenever I say Algeria, first they think Nigeria.
Yeah. Where is it situated?
Exactly. Then the second funny thing, when I say that it's in Africa,
why are you white?
Why are you white? Why are you not black? And then the third thing, they are amazed how fluent we are in both English and French.
Yeah, even the accents, they always mention the fact that we don't have an accent.
Actually, I had an accent. I had like a very acute French accent.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. The French accent. So.
The French accent, the total one, the French accent.
So we didn't guess that you are French in the first place.
Yeah, so in the beginning they thought either I was Italian or French. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that experience actually made my English. I don't know how you find it, guys, but I think
I find it perfect.
Yeah, actually, as a side note, I learned English, I would say, like only 3 years ago. I wasn't speaking English at all, but the first, let's say, week when I was in the US, we had what we call the pre-academic program. Mm-hmm. All right, so it was like a 1 month program, and it was kind of for people that had some kind of difficulties to express themselves in English, but also it was preparing ourselves to masters, actually, to research and everything.
So it's like a trial.
Exactly. So it was kind of an introduction to conducting academic research, but also kind of in an English way to do it. All right. So I had a professor there. Her name was Lara Wallace. Actually, that professor told us that it doesn't matter about like your accent or if you are not fluent, but what matters the most is you are sending a message.
Exactly.
All right. So if you are able to send that message, I mean, in English, all right, but I know maybe you can struggle sometimes, maybe not in the right intonation, not in the right maybe structure of words, not in the right accent as well. But in the end, if you are able to send that message, yeah, you are doing great.
This is the thing I actually noticed in even, no offense for French speakers or French in the general, they are judgmental when you actually make a small tiny mistake. Like you add an E at the end, okay, oh my God, tu fais une faute là. But in Americans, or I think English speakers, they focus more on how you, as you said, transmit the message rather than how you transmit it, whether the accent or the tone, whatever.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that especially when I started learning English, like my first step, it's pretty bold, but my first step was to starting to make content on the internet in English. All right.
Nice.
So I was doing that program, the Youth Talk with the Algerian Blackbird. It's actually a program sponsored by the US Embassy, and the purpose of it was to create content in English. I was doing like, as I'm doing right now, like as a tech communicator, I was talking about tech, but in English, and it was horrible. Guys, you can go to YouTube, just type Newbiesoft, and you will find it there. I was talking like in English, the worst English you can think of, all right? And I was getting some harsh comments, like...
But you went on with it.
Yeah,
use that comment.
No, actually, those harsh comments were like kind of a motivation to me. Yeah, they were, dude, why are you talking in English? Just talk in Arabic. Just talk in Arabic. I mean, why are you like hurting yourself? Yeah. So yeah. In the end, it was all like kind of learning.
There's always a beginning for great things.
Yeah, totally. And,
especially that when you mentioned earlier in the session, like when you mentioned how to bake a cookie, so you go through procedures of making mistakes.
Totally.
And it's through the mistakes that you learn how to create perfection.
Totally. Yeah, that philosophy of AI, I always see it in my life, not gonna lie, especially with learning new stuff and experiencing new situations.
Speaking of AI, so how did you start think, how did you choose that field, specifically as a field of study, of a professional field?
Oh, it's
Or
pretty.
even a passion, as I see it, like you are so passionate about the AI.
Yeah, so I'm that kind of person that knew exactly what they want to do when I was a kid. I always wanted something related to technology. All right, I am a tech optimist and a tech enthusiast. I always wanted to do computer science, so it was never a question for me. So I started like doing computer science when I was at university, and I did my master's actually in Blida in software engineering. But like tech is evolving so fast
Yeah.
that it's so hard to keep up. But when like the trend of AI started, I couldn't like resist. I was like, this is exactly what I want to do, because I've seen like the potential of what it could achieve, and we are actually seeing it right now. When I started like doing AI, it was actually here in Algeria. I had my project, like my thesis project. It was about artificial intelligence. It was around like 2019, 2020. All right. Even at that moment, we didn't have like ChatGPT or either other AI applications you are using right now. But even then, I was like, this is the field I want to work with, because, like for example, I was talking about the first project that I worked on artificial intelligence. It was a sign language recognition. So I have seen that there is a need for example, for mute and deaf people to use voice recognition systems like Alexa or Google Home. They cannot use these kind of systems because they are based on voice recognition. So I thought, yeah, with AI, maybe we could build a system with sign recognition. It will enable them to talk with a kind of connected object in their homes. So there is an opportunity there.
So it's like including everyone. You had a vision, like avant-gardist vision for the future, and of course, as we see, the AI is taking over everything right now. So we use AI everywhere, in medical field, cars, business.
Yeah, I mean, especially right now, I think that AI has been here for a long time. All right, it's like the concept of artificial intelligence is here since the 60s, actually. But lately, like the last 10 years, we have seen such a development in artificial intelligence that now it has become like the trend. All right, like for example, when I started like studying and being involved into AI, not a lot of people were interested, all right? Because all we had was kind of a narrow AI. We had an AI to maybe do image recognition or do voice recognition, and it is used. I mean, it was what we had on Snapchat, on what we had on Facebook, to do recommendation systems, or to filter some kind of images that we don't want to have on our feed. I mean, on Instagram, for example. So these kind of algorithms were used, but we never thought about them. All right, but lately, since like the famous ChatGPT in the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, people started interacting directly with artificial intelligence. This is why there is a huge boom in AI.
Yeah, even though they take like let's say ChatGPT is like the only representative of the AI. So okay, when we say AI, okay, that's ChatGPT you're talking about.
And there is a huge misconception, because AI is actually more than just machine learning.
Yeah.
Is more than just deep learning, and is more than just generative AI, and is more than just large language model, which is ChatGPT. So there is a huge field there, and it doesn't only minimize to ChatGPT. So yeah.
Yes. So what we have now, or let's say at least as Algerians, or mainly. So as you said, like you started your studies first in Blida, and then you enhanced your, let's say, your baggage in North Carolina. So you can say like it's life-changing experience for you.
Yes, totally. I mean, I had some basics in artificial intelligence before I went there, but definitely going there and having a lot of great professors. And I actually had the opportunity to do research when I was to the UNCC, University of North Carolina at Charlotte. We had a lab, their machine learning lab, and with two professors there, and obviously they have more experience than me in artificial intelligence. It not only got me the theoretical part of it, but also the technical part. It allowed me to understand how these systems work and how to implement them and deploy them to the major public. Like, for example, I was talking about that social interaction detection algorithm that we made with the collaboration with the Boston hospital. And it was kind of an algorithm we used in order to make people that had stroke recap and have a better rehabilitation program. So their hypotheses were saying that stroke patients or stroke survivors, if they have enough social interactions, they have better chances to feel better. So this is why we built an AI to actually monitor how much social interaction they're having.
Exactly.
And working in this kind of projects, it only allows you to love your field more and more, because you would see the impact of it on people's life.
Yeah, so it's more like life-saving rather than distraction.
And honestly, later on, the last project that I worked on, even though it doesn't involve like human lives, but for example, we work a lot on workflows. We work with a company, for example, they do quality control, and that task, like to only control the quality of one record, it took them like 5 minutes. All right, and they have on average like 500 records. All right, and using an AI, we were able to do the processing of all the 500 records in only 2 minutes. All right,
so it's life-saving and time gaining.
It's so that person, instead of doing that very manual work, what they will do is they will do another work, or they will enhance their work in order to be more efficient. All right. So instead of doing very manual work, checking this, checking that, all right, they will be more efficient. They will be evolving their job. All right.
Yeah. And there is like another side from this.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yeah,
I know,
it's going
I know.
there. But like, let's say they say there is a hypothesis or something. It says like AI is stealing jobs from people.
I personally think I will never say that AI is not gonna replace your job. It is gonna replace my job first, actually. Like I said, I was doing kind of stuff in software engineering or in coding. All right, before AI, it would take me like 2 weeks to do some things, and now I could do them like in half a day. All right. To the level that it is evolving. But what I see it is, it's either is gonna make us upgrade our jobs into making them more analytical and more requires really a human intelligence, all right? Or it's gonna make it easier and cheaper, all right? Like, for example, now the cost of software engineering, it is costing less and less, and it's taking less and less time. All right. So yeah, I see it as an opportunity, but also I would like to remind people that it's not only AI and technology that is having an issue. Having an effect on the job market. Yeah. There is a lot of other factors, like for example the economy, the trends,
especially the economy.
Yeah, the culture. So there's a lot of other stuff to consider.
That's a good point, right? Speaking of, can you give us like a small teaser about or let's say a small, briefly about your project after your Fulbright experience?
Oh yeah, so what I'm doing right now is actually my mission as an exchange student is actually I'm supposed to come back here in Algeria, and there is a great quote of Denzel Washington that I love. He said that the first part of your life you learn, then you earn, then you return. Right?
That's so accurate in this case.
Yeah. So actually, I'm too young. I'm only 27. So let's say that in this like situation, I'm kind of returning what I've learned in the USA, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, because what I'm doing right now, adding to my job as a CTO of Infinite Graph. So at Infinite Graph, we develop AI solutions. But what I'm trying to do here in Algeria is actually trying to be an AI communicator. And it means that I talk about AI to audiences that are non-technical, so that they know exactly what it is. Like, for example, what we do here at the ACCA every week. I'm trying to teach people how AI works, how it is trained. All right. Like, for example, in today's session, we worked about the entire workflow of AI and how the training process looks like. All right. So I think that having this kind of digital skills are a must nowadays. We like grew up in an environment where we were talking about being aware about the internet and being aware about cyber criminality. All right. So I think that nowadays people should be aware about artificial intelligence, how it should be used, how to best use it to be the most efficient. And also, like, for example, I had a lot of communication these past 2 weeks about AI in education. A lot of people are concerned, especially for the K-12. So, for example, for students from high school and below, how to better use AI in order to, in education, in K-12. So I think that they understood, especially teachers, they understood that either way, students are using AI. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they are using it. There's nothing we can do about it. So what we should do instead of telling them, no, you shouldn't use AI, we actually should put together like a framework.
Use AI.
Exactly. Put together a framework, know what tools to use, and having like this kind of ethical consideration like we talked about today, to better control it rather than banning it.
And avoid plagiarism as well. Because I've seen this as a teacher. I use AI, but to tailor that the planning, or let's say brainstorm the lessons as a teacher. So I think it helps both students and educators to
yes, totally. Like I had this discussion with a English educator as well last week, and he told me that having these kind of tools to, for example, prepare his syllabus, his lectures and everything, he told me that I gained so much time that today I am spending that time talking with my students rather than having to think about all the the administration stuff or all the preparation and everything. He told me that now I am focusing more on my way to talk, the intonations, and how to better communicate with students.
The quality of transmitting.
Exactly. And for me, this is a smart move, because he didn't see AI as a threat, but he saw it like as an opportunity to improve himself. Like, all right, I am making my job easier in a certain manner using these AI tools. All right. Now I'm gaining a lot of time. I will use that time to improve myself on other stuff. So I think that it is the best move in whatever you are doing right now.
I agree. Totally. Totally. Especially for those, as for students, it's good for them to help them self-learn. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, for example, when I started learning artificial intelligence, I wasn't having a course at university here in Blida about artificial intelligence. So I had to learn it myself. So what I did, for example, went to Udemy or YouTube videos in order to learn. So now actually, I see these tools like ChatGPT as a complementary to that, in order to maybe even set a roadmap. For example, I want to have a roadmap to learn artificial intelligence. What I do, I would go to ChatGPT and then say, hey, build me a roadmap and give me all the sources that I need, all the courses that are a must for me to learn. So this is like a way to communicate with artificial intelligence. So yeah.
we can like learn and have a conversation like in a very fun way, I would say.
Yeah, totally. And actually, I had a discussion with a lot of teachers lately, and some of them were scared that AI could ever replace teachers. And they asked me actually this question, and I was like, never say never. And I was like, AI tries to optimize everything, all right? It works as an optimization function, all right? Let's say, for example, if we have an AI that is there to predict the cost of a building and trying to minimize it, it will tell you what kind of tools to use, not to use, when you should turn down like the radio or the oven. It will optimize everything in order to have like less consumption of energy.
So it works like an assistant for you.
All right. So when applying that to teaching, what could be like for you? I mean, as a teacher, all right. Mm-hmm. What is the best teacher?
What is the best teacher?
Yeah.
I would say we have, as teachers, the best way to, let's say, be emotionally intelligent.
Emotionally intelligent. All right. So even though, like right now, artificial intelligence is trying to mimic emotional intelligence. All right. It's not a genuine emotional intelligence, but it's trying to mimic it. All right.
As a start.
As a starter,
you never know.
Though what I think is that it is so powerful at optimization that I think that AI could bring like the right structure of words, the right intonations, and the right the right vocabulary to use with a certain person to allow them to learn best. All right. Like, for example, me or you as a teacher, when we are like having a crowd or an audience that is so big, all right, we will find ourselves like sitting like kind of a level. We cannot adapt ourselves to every and each person, especially to their level of language,
exactly,
to their level of expertise in that field, like for example in English or in AI, all right, and even in the intonation. Like for example, sometimes I intonate on some kind of specific words. Sometimes I speak slowly. Sometimes I speak like in a very rapid manner, very quick. All right. I think that AI. All right. This is my hypothesis. All right. And you can agree, you can disagree. I love this kind of discussions. But I think that AI could optimize everything. Could optimize the word structure. Could optimize the intonation and adapt it to each and every person so that they can learn in a best and optimal manner. So at that moment, it might replace educators. And
so I should be worried. Yeah, I would just stick to podcasting.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said like replacing, but an assistant rather than an assistant. Yeah.
Well, it's artificial intelligence. We're still the real intelligent here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's really a pleasure to have you today, Mehdi, and the discussion was amazing. The session was amazing, and hopefully looking forward to attend more of your sessions. And of course, if you want to listen to more, or let's say know more about AI, Mehdi Bourahla is open to any questions.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
And
sure.
You'll find him here in the ACCA. The ACCA is open 3 days a week, as we mentioned before, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Bring your ID and your best energy. See you next time.